my time to basically brag on Florida, because Florida has led the way. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Chancellor Rodriguez, who is a third-term member of the Florida House, took a shy, unassuming, very quiet member when he showed up under his wing and helped show me the ropes. And I was privileged during my time in the legislature to help spearhead a lot of the changes we've talked about here today. I chaired education committees for 4 of my 8.5 years. But while we've talked about loans, one of the things we have not spoken about in Florida is that in the state of Florida, every single student, everyone, if they work hard, has the ability to go to one of our state institutions for free. In the state of Florida, we offer free in-state tuition to every single student who gets an IB diploma, a Cambridge ACE diploma, or frankly, thanks to the hard work of my son, who's now a high school senior, a College Board AP capstone diploma. You get one of those, you go for free. That's no tuition, that's no loans. And we do that, I would note, with no state income tax either. That's why perhaps we're the #1 state university system in the country with the lowest tuition. So Florida shows how to do this. Now, one other way in which Florida has distinguished itself, and I am dealing with this right now as the father of a high school senior, is the safest place in the country for Jewish students to attend school. Little known fact, more Jewish students attend the University of Florida as a raw number than any other institution in the United States. More than any other. And part of the reason for that is a bill that I worked on when I was in the Florida legislature, and then House Member Rodriguez voted for. House Bill 741, which was signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis almost 7 years ago on May 29th, 2019. A bill that required that anti-Semitism be defined and it be treated the same way in our institutions as racism. And so I'd like to take a minute to ask Chancellor Rodriguez to talk about if that bill has been effective in making Florida's institutions safe for Jewish students, and if that might be one of the reasons why more Jewish students go to the University of Florida than any other institution in the United States.
Thank you for the question. I want to begin by addressing the first part of what you led with, which is what we provide students. In addition to those scholarships, Florida's #2 in the nation in financial aid that is awarded to students, and we're #2 in merit-based aid as well through Bright Future scholarships, as well as the ones you've mentioned. It's played a big role in allowing the best of our state to remain in our state and go to school for free. In terms of your legislation, it was very important. After the events of October 7th, we saw demonstrations occurring in campuses across this country. While other states were struggling with whether the demonstrations crossed into the action of anti-Semitism, in Florida, we had a definition of anti-Semitism because of your bill. So in Florida, there was no ambiguity. We took the step of ensuring that First Amendment rights were protected. If students wanted to demonstrate, they could. But we regulated the time, place, and manner. Because we had a working definition of anti-Semitism, we were able to ensure that our Jewish students were not harassed, and we were able to ensure that none of the demonstrations impacted our classes or our common spaces like libraries that all students need access to. I would say that having the definition of anti-Semitism in statute played a key role in our success. As far as whether that has attracted more students, I do know if you look at applications coming from the Northeast to our system, they have gone up since the events of October 7th. I suspect there's correlation, but I don't have any data to support that.
And as a father of a high school senior who applied, and I'm happy to note, successfully got into all 3 Florida universities he applied to, I can tell you it is stunning how competitive these institutions. I mean, I was shocked. There is not a single Florida state university that does not have competitive applications. There was a time when some of the lower ranked ones, anyone who applied who was qualified could get in. That is no longer the case at any of the 12. Last question, very brief. When I ran that bill, people were concerned about courts finding it unconstitutional. In the 7 years that it's been in effect, are you aware of any court cases that said that that bill has been unconstitutional?
There have been none in Florida.
All right, thank you. And look, again, Florida leads the way. I believe very strongly if every state just replicated what you are doing in Florida, we wouldn't have any of these problems that so many people want to talk about today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize my friend from Oregon, Ms. Bonici. Is she out here? Okay. This is